Okay, everyone. Today we are integrating some newer technology into my 30 plus year old vehicle. So I already have a deck in there, but it is bad. So the idea is to put this in. We'll have GPS, internet, Android Auto, everything on it. So um, along with that, I need to also make a new. Here, I'll show you. Make a new kind of mount. This one is okay, but as you can see by the front, it's like cracked here because it was the wrong size for this deck, and it was just something that I had laying around. So I'm gonna take this apart, backwards engineer this a little bit, and see if I can't make a new faceplate, if not the whole entire thing. You can buy these pretty cheap, but they're all one size, and my new deck is not that size. So let me pull this out, and then we'll go through how I'm gonna backwards engineer it. Okay, so I've torn it all apart. The old crappy head unit's right there. I'm just taking a look at it, and I might need to remake the brackets and the faceplate, and then probably the back casing as well. But I'm not sure yet. I might be able to get away with just remaking one of them. We'll find out pretty quickly here. So here's just a quick look at what I previously had done. So the brains of this one, this was a full doubled-in unit at one point. The brains of it are kind of suspended here. They were bolted in on this side, and just a bolt through, and then a nut was on the outside. I literally had cut this one in half to fit it to my needs because I had a doubled in and I didn't need it. So I used some of the pieces that I cut off in order to kind of pinch it onto the faceplate here. But the idea with this new setup is going to be getting rid of all of that and just kind of build it to the deck. So for that reason, I got the Toto A6 Performance. So I have the X10 in my car, and it's great, but I don't think this vehicle needs that. So this is just a straight up 9-inch. The idea behind this one is it's thin, so it'll be able to fit up top. Whereas if it was a big unit, it wouldn't be able to fit. So yeah, just gonna custom make a mount for it, which I will just do a time lapse of because I'm still bad at it and it's gonna take me forever. Okie dokie. So, I am just trying to get this all nice and set up. So, my original plan was I was going to recreate this piece here. I was gonna recreate it in CAD. Turns out I'm not even close to that good yet. But what I can do is I can make an adapter. So I decided to go the adapter route, and this is what I came up with. So this just slides in. So I already ordered a new radio surround. So these are like a generic radio surround for the Pajero, but a lot of other radio surrounds come with this style. And it's like a little bit bigger at the top, smaller at the bottom, got a weird angle. So I figured I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to try and design it so it can work with more than just this kit. So that anybody can download it and use it, or modify it and use it however you see fit. So the idea is I'm going to have it be able to slide in, and then it's got all these holes back here, so you can screw a screw in there just to hold it down. I'm still working out the height and like placement of the screen. I'm really going to have to wait for the new surround to finalize this piece and make it available for everybody. But in the meantime, I can get my radio or get the new radio together and installed in the car so I can have a radio as I'm driving again. So I don't need to use my phone. So this is the temporary fix. The finalized one will have different holes for different heights, how like depending on how big you want the screen. And then yeah, this one kind of got stuck to the build plate, but it's just a preliminary one anyway. So as you can see, that squishes in there. And with my new Atoto deck, we have, so the screen is literally the same size as the old one that I have. The big difference is the old one didn't have wireless Android Auto. It just had wired, and then I had like a little module to make it wireless Android Auto, but it was always finicky. So finicky at best. So now I got this guy as the Atoto A6. Double check. It is the A6 Performance, so it's got a little bit better processing speed and RAM and all that stuff. So I've already measured to make sure it fits, and this is the generic double DIN bracketry that you would get. And she slides in nice. The only problem is I don't know how my new surround is. I think it's identical, but this one I bent a bunch to get the old deck to fit. So I really got to wait for this one to finalize that other piece. But for now, I will be able to get it in there and get it screwed in place, and then have a head unit again. So you may have or may have not seen me rewire a stereo before. It is relatively easy. Usually everything's labeled, or you'll have like a cheat sheet, some kind of book that comes with it that allows you to match up wires with your stock stereo harness or an adapter harness. So this is my adapter harness. Obviously I already had it in there because it was for my old stereo. So I'm going to cut all these off and then use some more of these butt splice connectors and just splice them up. Should be way more than enough length. So just matching the wires wire to wire. This I think is a Metra harness. And they're really nice because they come with the universal wire colors. So literally all you have to do is match up all the wires to all the wires on this one and butt splice them. You can solder them if you want, but butt splices, I mean, that's what NASA uses. So if it's good enough for NASA, good enough for me. So yeah, let's just start snipping off the old harness and then go wire by wire until it's all connected. So I'm hoping this is my final version of the radio surround, and as you can see, I ran out of black, so I'm using some turquoise filament. That fade is pretty cool. But I made it so it's got thicker walls, and the thicker walls mean I can like drill some holes in it and mount stuff to it instead of it being super thin with a core. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. This should be my final final print, and then I'll be able to assemble the stereo and put it in. Okie dokie. So this is my version 2 of the radio bezel extension. I think I could bring it a lot thinner and I could modify it a bit more. So I will be modifying it more, but that's for a later rendition. This is going to be more than enough to get it in the Pajero and start using it. Heck yeah. So as you can see here, I have made the modifications on my adapter piece, and I'm going to attempt to print it overnight, and hopefully I can put this thing back together and get it in the car tomorrow. Yeah. We got 3 hours. Okay, so this was my first attempt, and it was a little bit too thin, and it peeled off the plate wrong, so it's all messy. But that's fine. This was rendition 2. I made it extra thick. This was more so to be able to properly measure how far out it could go. I also pushed the whole thing up the top so that the bottom of the screen wouldn't interfere with the bottom of this. And then once this was done and I got my measurements, I perfected my design. I did have one boo-boo where I put this space too far down instead of up. So I had to cut out a little section there, but that's fine. And this thing fits so nice in here. And I will make this this piece available. I don't know exactly how yet, but you can always message me and I can send it to you. But yeah, that will adapt this generic radio bezel from AliExpress for a Gen 2 Pajero into something that'll hold a yeah, double din. So that is that, and then we'll put the whole thing down on here. Come on. And there is the screen. You can barely even make out the turquoise. So that was one of my things, is because the car's not going to be turquoise. So yeah, that looks amazing. Now I just got to get it installed. Okay, got all the wires all connected. I like to do it loose before hard mounting anything. I'll pivot it into position, screw it down, and then boot her up. Okay, so head unit was installed on Friday or Saturday. It's now Monday. The installation went really cleanly and nicely. Everything looks great. I also today I just put in the new tire pressure monitoring system, which I thought would be super handy for off-roading. You usually air down when you get to the trailhead and you run like a lower tire pressure, especially for snow wheeling and stuff in the winter. It is now spring, so I don't need to worry about it as much, but when I do go off-roading, it would be nice to know my pressure. As you go up in elevation, your pressure also rises, so it'll just be nifty to kind of keep an eye on it. So I had set it up, like I plugged everything in, put them all on the individual tires, but I had to wake them up. So I went for a quick little drive to wake up the tire sensors, and everything worked great. So let's see here. It says it's not reading them, which is weird because I just had it on. Yeah, it's good. So I'm currently 35 PSI all around, 35-ish PSI, except the front right is a little low. So I'll add some air to that in a little bit here. But other than that, I noticed when I first plugged in the dongle, it actually thought that there was zero pressure, so it was telling me there was problems with the pressures. So it gave me a bunch of alarms and stuff, which is pretty cool. So when I went to set it up, you can change that. So I turned the low pressure alarm way down because I usually air down to like 15 PSI for off-roading. It also, I didn't realize it, but it keeps track of pressure as well. So they're all reading 12 degrees pressure because it's actually, that's pretty close. They're hot tires, so it's about 10 degrees. Yeah, pretty sweet. Other than that, it has all the bells and whistles that a phone or any other Android deck would have. It's got a couple other features, and it's got its own store now. So it's got an Atoto store. You can set up your phone to do like a Bluetooth kind of, or not Bluetooth, Wi-Fi hotspot. And then you could literally just watch YouTube or stream anything from anywhere as long as you have cell service. Yeah, I usually will only use Android Auto for when I'm driving because it's just super handy. I have it so it automatically turns on when I get in the car, turn the car on. 3 or so seconds, it connects to my phone and then just puts whatever music I was listening to on. Yeah, not much more to be said there. It's way, way better than the last one. My last one, it was a really expensive one, like a decade ago, so it was way outdated. This one is so fast. Everything connects. It's just, yeah, it's all wireless. It's great. So yeah, I'll have a link in the description for their website. You can also get their stuff on Amazon. It's really quick and easy. I have not had a single problem with any of their stuff. I had one issue, but it was user error. So it's good to know that I messaged them and they just got back to me right away. It was quick and painless. So yeah, I can't rave about them enough, and I have them in both my vehicles. I'm sure I'll have another one in the Datsun when it's ready, because I do want to run a stereo in that thing, even though it's going to be mostly race car. So with that, we got everything installed. Again, nice and painless. I do have the file for the adapter to adapt the outer casing to the inner casing. I'm more than happy to share it with whoever. I'm going to eventually set up a little, like, not even a web store because I'm not selling them, but like a place where you can download all the stuff I 3D print. I will be eventually selling like the cup holder, maybe the badge. I don't know yet. I'm still working on setting up my own store for that stuff, but I'll make all the files that I'm going to make available. I'll make them available and easy to find. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you guys later. Peace.